Bloods have to win if they actually want to continue in the grand finals of the Age of Mythology Titans Clanic Season 25, because they are losing 1-2, which might be slightly unexpected to some, but the AoL's performances have been quite great so far, and let's see how they will play on the RTSL Sea of Worms. So this map is special in a way that it has a big body of water in the darkness here on the right side. On the minimap, if you have a look, you will see pretty soon with those two wheelies already going in for some of the dock placement. And well, we see triple Zeus from AoLs, and then we have Kronos, Oranos, Ra from LUTs, and this is definitely a reason the two wheelies are coming here, because they are probably expecting, well, two wheelies here cannot too much, but they are maybe expecting some reconstructions. But at the same time, since Iron Maiden is actually the pocket, is actually near the wall, I'm not really thinking that he would be the one under some serious pressure. At any rate, he is also scouting at the back with his Kataskopos, discovering at least one spot here for the fishing boat here. That's going to be it, and otherwise he is forced to get it from the berries, and he does have some chickens here, and otherwise not much of a hunt was there, but there is a lot of hunt in the middle, and he just missed it. So right now he's not in a position to actually switch, because he already invested in the Granada here. Just gonna have a look if he went for the hunting docks just in case. No, he didn't. Well, quite obviously, because we are underwater, so that would be kind of weird. Well, this is relic pretty useful. Probably going to find quite a lot of uses, and will we see some first deconstruction as 9 Racing Cat is nearing the time here, the dock here. And, well, did he already cast it? No, he didn't. So what is he waiting for? He's going for someone else, and he just missed it. Alright, he could have cast it even before the first boat was actually up, which would have been even more advantageous for him. But right now, yeah, finally here's the construction. So goodbye AoL Recon's economy. But he did actually count with that, so he did camp those wheelies at the tree line here, which was a very nice counterplay, and it means that the downtime will be just minimal. Even though the damage will be done, but severely limited by this very nice little play. Otherwise, Recon is also gathering from the berries here, not really interested in the hunt so far, even though there's quite a lot of it, and he might be moving for it quite soon. And the third Zeus for AoLs is Berserker, who was yet again going for some hunt inside his base, and the hunt was on chickens. So yeah, not really a hunt at all. He still has quite some nice berries, and as we have seen earlier, quite a lot of hunt, real hunt this time around, all around the base. Well, not this bad, really. Otherwise, it seems like that Kiliudai, well, it's kind of unfortunate that he, as Ra, is actually the first to be spawned to face his opponents, as that's not really all that ideal. And, well, a bit of idle, because he didn't actually shift-click on his other bars, which is slightly unfortunate and going to slow him down a bit, but hopefully for him that's not going to be what will decide the game here. Pretty good placement of the dog though, and a lot of fishing spots are right near it, and it seems like quite a lot of emptiness in here, so not a good luck for 9 Racing Cat, who has to go quite a long ways for actually some fish here. Temple being dropped already by Iron Maiden on the right side. As we are at 3 minutes, that's pretty much a decent time for a water advance. That's going to result in something like 440 or 430, something like that, quite possibly. And let's just have a look at some other dock placements. Yeah, we have already seen that 9 Racing Cat definitely drew the shortest straw, while Askil is having not much better luck, but still, it's kind of okay. Still, done better than 9 Racing Cat. He could really use something like buoying dogs right around the middle here. Recon is already also dropping a tempo, so he will be advancing slightly slower than Iron Maiden. I think he will be at like 5 minutes or some such. Iron Maiden is, well, he is not advancing either, so he just went for fast tempo, and that's pretty much it. So everybody is advancing at like 5 minutes. And, well, Berserker is just now going for a tempo, which is definitely meaning that advance around 5 minutes is basically what is going to happen. And with Kiliudai still not even having a tempo, oh, actually he does. He is going for some aggressive build, as he will probably try to protect his dog here and possibly go for some aggression together with Askil and just maybe even 9 racing it because he is having, oh yeah, the aggression is real. The aggression is real right now from 9 racing cat because he is transporting his temple, which means he's already transporting into next stage as well, 50% into Prometheus, and well, yeah, Askil will be even faster with being 70% right now. Some second docks being built also by Askil and also his allies, quite obviously with Kiludai, and well, and Racing Cat trying to be a bit more lucky, but he won't really be. So it's just about placing some kind of defensible position in there. Recon is probably right now realizing that he's going to be under attack, but he is going for the wall quite too late, because right now the Valor is going to stop this from being built, and Willy is going down, and second dock is not going to be up either, because another Valor, this time for 9 Racing Cat, is gonna mean this Willy is going to be retreating, and well, that's a huge problem, because this is probably going to result in Recon losing yet another dock to the second deconstruction when that is available, and he will be basically out of the water altogether, and the water battle will develop into 3 versus 2. Right now though, Iron Maiden recognizing that this is really a pretty crucial spot of the game, as they can't really afford to lose both of those docks and recon altogether. So, very nice and smart play at this point, and it's also disrupting Kiryudai, because I think he was thinking about something with his Ptah and shifting sands. But at this point I don't really see what that could be. And it means that only 9 Racing Cat with Askil have some guys here together with these Prometheans, and well, since we have some advances into the ages as well, and the construction most definitely going for recon, yep, this was a very good play with the ceasefire, because it really did save recon, and the construction will be just a slight problem, and still pretty good chance for AoLs to get back on the water here. Just going to check all around here. Second dock being built just now by Maiden, which is kinda late, isn't it? Kinda late. All 3 AoLs actually went for ceasefire, which is very curious at this point, as they expected that shenanigans are going to go up. And this is basically very nicely played. They have played this last season, I think, and this means that basically 3 minutes, there's absolutely nothing happening, and that is putting their team at an advantage, because Lats have put a lot of resources into early aggression, and they have wasted their god powers on actually recon here on the docks, and that's right now going to be in naught, pretty much. So Willy here from Askil is going for a second TC, which is a pretty good reaction at this point to all these ceasefires, because it means they really have nothing to lose with going echo, and it can only help them, and it seems like that AoLs are thinking absolutely the same, with both Recon and Iron Maiden going for a second back TC, Iron Maiden already finishing, and only Berserker is not going for one, but maybe now he is. Yeah, those Willys are most definitely having a vector right through the TC, and that's going to be it. So are we going to see third ceasefire right there? That's the strategy that they played like 2 seasons earlier, or last season, and yeah, here it is. Third ceasefire, so all the aggression from Lat is pretty much over. So they bought quite a lot of time now, AoLs for themselves, and well, they are right now getting back into it, and they will be having an advantage of actually being a bit more boomed than their opponents, and that could actually help them in the water battle here, because they will be able to replenish a lot sooner than their opponents. This is a pretty interesting raiding party at this point, as I don't really see any heroes from either of those Zeuses here, and it could be pretty tricky to actually defend against it without them. This relic is the better tower and melee attack, so pretty interesting, and yeah, you can to the left, to the left, to the left. And he is not going there, he's just going to check out the TC, and he will see he's too late, because the ceasefire is protecting it quite nicely. So yeah, you just have to go somewhere else, because the economy from AoLs is much better than Lats, because they are all at 2 TCs at this point. And well, Kiryudai is also at 2, taking third, so he caught up on what is happening here, and everybody is switching to heavy echo. 9 Reisike going for second and third as well, and Askil going for the same. Second right now finishing, I think, and third will be pretty soon there as well. Okay, so right now the water battle will be developing, at least to some degree. You can see some units from Recon, and also Green Berserker and Iron Maiden on the right side. But is it really going to be enough? At this point I kinda think it will, because there is not enough boats of Askil, 9 Risiket and Kiludai to defend against this, and I don't really think they expect that they can win the water right now, and they will probably be giving up on it and hoping that they can somehow overcome their opponents on the land right now. Kiludai is going for a tower, which is a pretty decent idea because he needs to protect against potential raiding from his opponents, even though they are not switching into land army yet, which is something that might actually be a bit costly for them, because I would kind of think that Kiludai will be advancing into heroic pretty soon to actually put up some Migdos, secure some map control, potentially even this gold, basically steal it from his opponents, and well, guys not really doing anything at all. So the water is, yeah, reasonably okay, even though it seems like that Lats are not giving up on it as it seemed at first, and well, definitely Kiludai is right now the stronger one of Lats team to defend against the onslaught from AoL's Rirames. Pretty decent battle at this point, and it almost seems like that Lats are actually winning, especially with this shockwave they might, but on the right we see that 9 Racing Cat is just maneuvering around the water field there, trying to keep AoL's Iron Maiden's boats busy somehow, and maybe out micro him somehow, which he right now does, because he just left him there hanging, is going for some of the fishing boats, at least here. So 30 Cs right now being captured by also the AoLs. Everybody is just booming as much as they can. Now I'm just gonna check if somebody is finally advancing into Heroic Age, or if it's just too soon for everybody, and it seems like it is. And it also seems like, sorry, that Kiludai might have stolen 1 TC from his opponents. Looking at the TCs, all 3 at Lats and 1 free is here, so yeah, they definitely Kiludai stole 1 TC from Recon, so they will have a pretty decent advantage, and if they can turn it into something lasting, well, that could be pretty crucial, but at the same time it's pretty close to water, so if Lats actually can't win it, it would be a huge problem because they will be kept out of it, and well, it would be basically not that much threatening for AoLs to be 1 TC less. So Rain being cast at this point, and 9 Racing Cat together with his ally Kiludai are doing pretty good job, somehow limiting the capabilities of AoLs, which is really surprising, but it's basically because Iron Maiden is not joining in the 3 versus 2 battle. Right now he is, and he might be turning it around, but at the same time it might be just too late. Lats are not giving up and still having a pretty good shot and actually winning the water altogether, as there are not all that many docks by their opponents, so they are not all that serious about winning it, and it almost seems like they are not really caring all that much, which is slightly curious, but well, let's see if it is going to pay off for them. A lot of farms, so Kiludai might be advancing into Heroic sometime soon. I'm not really seeing anything substantial from a skill here. That's pretty much it. And looking back at the water battle, it seems like not even Iron Maiden's presence on the water is going to be enough to put Lats into some kind of difficult position. And they are really doing kind of surprisingly well, even though there have been some extra helps by the reconstructions and whatnot on Recon. The triple ceasefire should have actually nullified that, and it seems like it didn't. And maybe AoL's just misplayed there, or just had some other plans. Right now, they are really, absolutely everybody is booming, and when these triple Zeuses are boomed, they I think are going to be a bit too much for their opponents to deal with, and you can see that Iron Maiden is right now switching into land army pretty fully on the left side, and yep, this is going to result in a pretty huge battle. 9 Racing Cat also waiting behind the wall. Yep, we are looking some very decent fighting pretty soon. Finally Heroic from Hathor and by Kiludai, so that's a good advance at this point, and quite a huge amount of a naval army by Askil, who is having both here, keeping Blue busy, and also in the middle here, yeah, just keeping Blue busy as well. And he is also fighting together with Kiludai, who is the first into Heroic, and it almost seems like that AoS kinda gave up on the water, and will we see some siege ships? Yep. And just some extra cabinets here, so not yet, but they will probably be coming a bit later. But they are quite expensive at the very early advance, and it doesn't seem like they really need them. Even though it would seriously weaken their way to win the water. And if actually lots win the water, they will have the one extra TC, which is pretty important. And finally we see some first land battles where AoL Recon is not having any army whatsoever, just double heroes, while 9 Racing Cat is having like almost a pop here. With Kiryudai going for some decent raiding with the rock, but yeah, he goes right over Odysseus, so that's a pretty tough luck. And will Odysseus kill it? One more shot, come on, come on, come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, fast, for 3, for 80, okay, he can't do it. The rock is actually faster, so he can't really catch up with him, but 17 hit points is basically just waiting for the drop to happen, and some extra fire from the DCs. So a lot of idols all around here, which is curious, but Iron Maiden, or rather 9 Racing Cat is right now being in a bad position, and here we see some decent locusts here, and a lot of gold willies dead, quite a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 dead, which is pretty good. 7 willies is not half bad, especially at this stage of the game, disrupting the economy of his opponent quite substantially. He is 80% into Apollon, so that's at least something going for him. And you can see that 9 Racing Cat is moving forward, ever forward, already fighting some extra willies with Turmas, but he wasn't paying attention, so he's just getting slaughtered by the willies themselves. So, good job at that. And this is going to result into advance into heroic for Recon quite soon as well. Even though Kiryudai together with 9 Racing Cat are doing quite well, and they are, well, super offensive, and they are exactly doing what I was suggesting at some minutes earlier, and that's stealing the gold. It's basically Recon gold that's next to his TC. And stealing it quite nicely, 9 Racing Cat into heroic as well, and this is a very strong push. And if they can build the Migdol, these towers is pretty much the correct answer at this point, and tie down the TC. Not even the double Mythical Zeuses on the right side might be enough to stop this, because at this point I'm kind of expecting that Askill will be booming very hard and should be almost up with all the heroes, all the villagers, and 9 Racing Cat has advanced just a moment earlier. So yeah, all 3 in heroic, it was not so far. And this is a super strong army at this point. You can see that's a full triple on the front TC of AoL Recon, so that's pretty much a TC down, but it might take a bit longer if the masonry is research in time, which might or might not be. Not exactly sure, but the armies here are pretty strong, and 60%, well, it seems like they are splitting their attention, so not really. And finally, Eski Mythic Age into Helios, and Iron Maiden into Heroic. Alright, so the armies of all 6 players are right now at the same spot, and that was a pretty good bolt, because it protects exactly what Recon needs here. That's the extra towers. He has also researched finally the Masons for the better hit points, and it seems like AoLs are at this point defending quite nicely. As the hoplites, the sheer strength of the Zeus units are doing all their job, and pretty good traitor, because this is going to disrupt some of those archers here very nicely, even though the triple Odysseus, yeah, it's not really all that cool. That's really getting wrecked on this behemoth, and he didn't get even one shot on the TC. And even though this is a continued effort, TC is slowly coming down. Still, they need a slightly stronger push here, lots, to actually go for it and kill it fully. Those Odysseus here are really a problem on this side. God damn it, simply the guys with the bows. A pretty huge problem, as these behemoths are basically just getting killed, and they are just a huge waste of resources. 270 food is quite a lot, and I'm thinking it's not really what is the wisest move at this point. But with the heroes down, just to Jason, that could be just well enough, because they are tanking quite a lot, and Askill going for a Titan, well, that's a pretty fast one. And might not be a bad idea, and I think he should actually build it very close to the attacking line, because if he builds it somewhere back at his base, it's just going to take him like 2 trillion minutes to arrive at the battlefield, and he is building it inside his base, so yeah, that's what is going to happen. Of course, that will be some downtime in his economy gathering, so that's probably why it wasn't just as viable as it might have seemed at the first sight. Not really any upgrades, but oh, pretty good one, at least melee upgrades. Nothing from the Zeus is quite obviously, and they are not yet in Mythics. And the TC is just a question of time, because all these triple armies are pretty great, but they have to be careful. As you can see, that's a whole lot of archers, chariots, Archai, and just 9 Racing Cat supplying some melee units, and that's not nearly enough to do anything about this. They are slowly gaining the ground, but they need some extra siege, and Behemoths are definitely not going to cut it. With 9 Racing Cat right now going through Helios, having the upper hand, they need to delete Recon as soon as they can. Otherwise, Iron Maiden with Berserker might be coming in with their Mythic Lages. Kiludai also go in through Mythic into Osiris, and we have some extra bolts. We have one bolt waiting for Recon. And that was a curious one. That was a curious one. As we have Son of Osiris from Kiludai, and he thought that it would be much more useful to actually help protect the TC, but it was kind of dead anyway, so I'm not exactly sure that was worth it. And right now, Son of Osiris is going to be a huge problem because of his ability to kill the Colossi, quite obviously. So right now, Underworld Passage at the back to try and stop the Titan, which is already halfway through, so I'm not exactly sure what Iron Maiden wants to do when he isn't even Mythic. So yeah, not exactly sure, and he will be killed because 9 Racing Cat had pretty nice Vortex, and all those extra Archai are going to deal with this. But he will need some extra help, and the free TC is just kinda annoying me at this point, and should be captured by some of the guys here to actually allow them to do something extra. Right now the army is pretty good, together with the Dryads here in defending, and maybe they should build some extra buildings, because they might need some extra help. But if they are binding the army from Iron Maiden, that means that he isn't helping in the defense here of Recon's base, and while Recon's base is basically getting leveled at this point, and catapults from the mythical Kiludai are definitely going to help quite a lot. Berserker is right now the only thing that is holding their opponents in place at this point, but still, the extra TCs are still not going to help, and extra protection of the towers on the gold, which is a good idea, and some extra stables at the back, so this is the units that AoL Recon is going to push forward with. Once Kiludai is actually able to build this TC, it would be an extra huge threat, because he is Ra, and mercenaries would be pretty bad, and yeah, well, it seemed like Recon was trying to take care of it, and well, it seemed like that, but it wasn't really that case in the end. And well, Recon had to retreat anyway because he didn't have the correct units, and well, this push is pretty strong, and it seems like this TC is more or less secured, and just a question of time before Recon cannot defend it with his Epicons. The Titan is up, so that means that Iron Maiden's Underworld Passage wasn't successful at all, and they didn't even need all that extra buildings here. Just 9 Racing Cat transported something, and right now the Titan will just take care of it and get rid of it in just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, maybe just a 3. Okay, so Underworld Passage gone. That was Iron Maiden's attempt, and here we see also, oh yeah, pretty good job from the water, and that's exactly what I was worried about for Lats, because if they lost the water, they would be not having the TC advantage here, but they don't even need the TC, and since they won the water, and the narrate, or rather Man of War, is right now taking care of those boats, is doing a pretty good job in limiting Berserker to 2 TCs as well. So the push is strong, and Kiludai is capturing 4th TC, and right now this is going to be a train of mercenaries, because he does have the trade route at the back. Not really all that strong, but I think it will be strong enough, and at this point it almost seems like he doesn't care anymore, as his normal push is strong enough, and he really doesn't need the mercenaries here. Just gonna check if somebody is into Hephaestus. Iron Maiden 70%, Berserker doesn't even have upgraded TCs here, just now fortified town center, and not upgraded into Mythic anytime soon. So this is a super strong push with all 3 lots being in Mythic. And well, Recon still in Classical Age, quite obviously, because he was kinda hammered pretty bad. Finally in Heroic Age, so just as I said that he is the last one to stick to Classical, that's not true anymore, but these catapults are a pretty bad problem, and right now it will be up to Iron Maiden if he can somehow turn the game around with his Mythical Age, Zeus. But well, that's not really going to be all that easy, because there is a very nice attempt on the right side, where 9 Racing Cat has used his Vortex, I think. Yeah, and he just moved here onto the back TC of Iron Maiden and switching his units as well. And all those behemoths right now, 4 behemoths are just enough to take care of all these. And well, 1 traitor on the Colossi, of course, that's extra what he needs. That's going to result in the TC down, because not even Bellerophon, I think, can resolve that situation. And yep, just look at this guy taking down the TC. Yep, goodbye, Iron Maiden at 2, and quite soon to be just a 2, or just 1, because Time Racing Cat is really taking it quite offensively, moving all his buildings and all his armies to attack here quite strongly. Well, will this Bellerophon even come up? Yeah, he did. Just did. But still, it's not really mattering at this point because Iron Maiden is totally dead. Recon is dead as well, losing his second TC also. And not even those towers are really going to push through. And also you can see that the mercenaries are making an appearance. Those purple nonsense is just running around the battlefield, dealing damage and not dying in like a million years. So pretty strong push by Lats here, and I'm not exactly sure what AoLs are hoping for at this point. Looking at DCs 434, 310. Yeah, that's pretty much the situation, with Recon being gone on the right side, Iron Maiden being gone, and well, AoLs are right now losing, and Lats are even in the match at the 2-2, and we are going to see the decider on random. Well, pretty good game, and even with the triple ceasefire, AoLs weren't able to actually establish themselves well on the water, even though they had the triple Zeus, and I'm not exactly sure what went wrong with them, but I was expecting that with the triple ceasefire they would be winning without any problem on the water. But well played, and Kiryudai taking an initiative, stealing the TCs and going into heavy boom, and just camping right outside Red's base was exactly what it needed for AoLs to lose this game. GG. GG. Yeah, just now saying the fish were pretty nice for 9. And even with that, they kinda won quite nicely. Yeah, Kiludina saying that he thought they were going triple fast mythic, which would have been maybe an interesting idea, but they probably didn't have enough economy for that. Yep, they did have some plan AoLs, but Lats counterplayed it absolutely perfectly, and really the game was in their control from like the very beginning, even through the ceasefires there. Was curious. Berserker having a nice military count and units killed, but well, that wasn't enough. Recon military count and units killed, very nice indeed. Very nice indeed, but that was due to all those towers and the TC fire, because he was under attack quite a lot. Well played overall. Very nice boom from Kiryudai here, Asdra. Very much he could do better, I think. GG.